Some time ago we had somebody post a question about daisy chaining signals between amplifiers and how you do it. It's actually really simple to do, but really depends upon the amplifier that you're using. And any amplifier, especially on the professional line, made in the past probably 10 to 12 years, you can easily chain a signal from one amplifier to another. So this is sort of a just a brief overview of how to signal chain the amplifiers together. And to start off with, we're going to use these bottom 4 QSCs. These are model 3602 amplifiers. So the technically we'll do 3600 watts in a bridged mode at 4 ohms. So let's say we wanted to chain all these together to get us roughly maybe 14,000 watts for subs. And I've got them configured. You can tell right here that the bridge mono option is set, and they're also set into parallel mode, which means we're going to take a signal from this top amplifier here, we're going to send it down to that one. We'll do the same, send the signal down to here and down to here. So anyway, it's pretty straightforward, but we'll just take a look at it anyway. So we got our signal coming in from the mixing board, and we're going to go right into channel 1. Now from there, what we're going to do is take a cable, we're going to connect it into channel 2. Now we could use this position here if we wanted to, and then all we've got to do is run it down to this position down here. Now most of my cables are not going to have the male ends on each side to support this. Now you could get cables that are specifically used to chain amplifier signals, but then that may be an added cost. So what I end up using is a regular 1/4 inch cable that goes into channel 2. And then I connect it down to the input of channel 1 on the next amplifier. So even though it says this right here is an input, but in parallel mode, we can chain the signal that's coming in off of 1. It'll automatically parallelize to number 2. So all we got to do is connect channel 2's input, which is actually an output in that mode, and it comes down here and connects into channel 1. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, and then we're going to come down here, connect into the next channel 2, and we're going to daisy chain it on down to channel 1 on the next amp. And let's go. Okay, so we've got our channel connections all made. This is how we daisy chain a bunch of amplifiers together. So all the connections are made in the back, and because we set these amplifiers into a bridged mode through the switch in the back, we've got the 2 lights there, the lower yellow lights, meaning it's in parallel mode and bridged mono. The blue light obviously is power, but because it's in bridged mode, we're only using channel 1 for the input, as that's usually common amongst many amplifiers. So we're all on, everything looks fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just give it a signal. Check. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, there we go. One signal coming through the amplifier, spreading to 4 different amplifiers. Check. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now to run about 14,000 watts, let's say for bass, that does take a lot of current and a lot of power to be able to produce that kind of wattage. And with these plugs, which these plugs are fine, I mean the power cords and everything, they are fine, but what's going to happen is that you're going to have to, if you don't have a generator with a spider available, what you're probably going to end up doing is drawing power from different locations around the facility, wherever it is that you may be performing at. The problem with that is there is a potential for a ground loop to occur between the amplifiers. Now, ground loops do occur usually between front of house and the amplification, the front of house amplification. However, the possibility of having a ground loop occur between two separate amplifiers is there. I've only come across this twice. So what I've done is I've created some cables. They're sort of like this. Now, this is just a regular cable, has not been modified in any manner. And it works great if you know you're not going to have a ground loop problem. But if a ground loop should occur, I've made some cables that I've got marked. I don't know if we can see this here or not, but I've got them marked as a ground lift. And what it does, all this cable is, I have pin number 1 pulled on it. And this provides a ground lift to combat ground loop problems between amplifiers. So when running a full stack like this of amplification, it's very possible to get a ground loop between the amplifiers. Once again, this is not a video on how to manage ground loops. It's just something to consider, especially if you're running a lot of amplifiers, that just chaining does work, but you really need to think about having the ability to lift a ground just in case.